At the Abbott mansion, Diane fusses with trays and tells Jack it's her first Thanksgiving as his wife and she wants it to be perfect. Jack goes over how it's the holidays and they put all of their differences aside to be together. Diane reminds him Ashley was trying to run her out of town at this time last year. He marvels how things have changed in the past year. Ashley comes in and recalls that Diane saved her life. Jack declares that they're all working toward the same goal. Ashley gets irritated when Jack mentions Tucker and then floors her brother by saying she wants to invite him to dinner. At Newman, Victoria leaves Nikki a voicemail asking her to say hello to Aunt Casey for her and requesting that she give her a call when she has a chance. She could really use her advice. In the locked room at the lake house, Nikki has a stare down with the bottle of vodka. She then opens the bottled water on the nightstand and realizes it's actually water. She downs some and thinks about how awful she feels after the vodka IV. She never wanted to feel this way again. She hollers, "Claire, why are you doing this to me?" Sitting, Nikki once again stares at the vodka on the dresser and thinks, No, I can't. She wonders why Claire wants her to suffer. She knows my weakness. No, not weakness, disease. It's a disease. Nikki drinks more water and tells herself, you know how to do this. 1 day at a time, 1 minute at a time. At Newman, Victoria is thinking about calling Nate when Claire appears out of the elevator. Victoria thought she was going out west with her mother. Claire came back to get some work but stammers, it's your mom. Victoria and Claire bust into Victor's office and tell him that Claire got a call from her Aunt Jordan. Nikki had some sort of seizure and has been taken to the hospital in Oregon. Victor pulls out his phone and calls for the jet to be readied. Victoria declares, I'm coming with you. We can grab Nick on the way to the airport. They rush out of the office. Claire stands there and looks around before following them. At the club bar, Kyle tells Audra he wants back in. Audra questions Kyle's latest change of heart. He tells her he wants to be co-CEO of Jebot. Audra asks him to help her understand. He made it clear he didn't want to do it this way. Why should she believe he's not going to change his mind again? Tucker appears as Kyle says that McCall is wrong about him not being able to commit. And I have the evidence to prove it. Tucker walks up and asks, evidence to prove what? Kyle, Tucker, and Audra settle at a table in the jazz lounge, and Kyle plays them a recording of Ashley in the Abbott home, saying that she'll help Devin and Tucker reconcile, and then maybe he'll back off of Jebot. Tucker shrugs that he assumed Ashley was trying to manipulate him. Kyle thinks this proves he'll throw his aunt under the bus. Tucker chuckles, I didn't think I had it in you. At the Abbott mansion, Jack and Diane can't believe that Ashley wants to invite Tucker to their Thanksgiving dinner. Jack asks why he'd even agree to it. Ashley thinks he'll be alone and vulnerable and will accept because of Devin. Jack refuses to let it happen. He won't ruin a family celebration by having that man in the house. It's not going to happen. Diane doubts he'd even come. Jack adds, or Devin for that matter. Ashley says, just one drink. Why are you fighting me on this? Jack says Thanksgiving means something. Ashley argues some things are more important than eating turkey. Jack talks about the value of the family tradition. Ashley thinks John would agree with her. If he won't allow Tucker and Devin to come for a drink, she'll arrange to meet them at the club. This is something that I have to do. It just is. Jack marvels that Ashley is going to go through with this. She says it's for the good of the family. Jack still worries about her. You will be missed. Ashley teases that they can talk about her behind her back. They hug and wish each other a happy Thanksgiving. Jack heads to the kitchen and Diane tells Ashley she sees the logic, but there could be a problem with her plan. At the club, Victor, Victoria, and Nick all try unsuccessfully to reach Nikki as they wait for the jet to be prepared. Victor learns it will be half an hour. Claire stands by as Victor assures his kids, it will be all right. In the locked room, Nikki hides the vodka and muses. What kind of person does this? She then uncovers the booze again and tells herself she should pour it out. She takes it to the sink, unscrews the cap, and instead of pouring it down the drain, she takes a drink. And then another. Soon she's guzzling the rest of the bottle. It smashes on the floor as she lets go of it. Nikki crawls into the bed and cries, "Oh God, God help me," as she sobs. In the club, Victor questions Claire about what else her aunt said about the seizure. Claire says, not much. She was focused on getting Nikki help. She said Nikki started twitching and she got dizzy, and then her arms started jerking like they were out of her control. And then she collapsed. Victoria worries that it's related to her MS. They ask Claire the name of the hospital. Claire isn't sure. There isn't one near the lake house. Victor directs her to get a hold of her aunt to tell her about Nikki's MS. In the jazz lounge, Tucker tells Kyle this is a promising start. Audra presumes that Kyle's given some thought to how he may be able to help them achieve their goal. Kyle says he played the role of the prodigal son and accepted his father's offer to be COO. It was a weakness too easily exploited. Tucker muses that Kyle will be on the inside and can gather information. He needs something to damage the company and destroy it from the inside. Kyle asks if this is a joke. He can't run a company if there's nothing left. Tucker clarifies that he'll merely cripple it. To get control of Jibot, he needs leverage. Is this going to be a problem for you? Kyle has to do it for the plan to work. He can deliver the intel, but doesn't trust either of them. No offense. He knows Tucker is hurt and wants to punish Ashley and her family. He wants to run the company, and this is the only way it's going to happen. Don't make the mistake of playing me, and everyone will get what they want. Tucker and Kyle shake hands, and McCall urges him to go home and play the prodigal son. Audra walks him out. At the door to the club, Audra tells Kyle she's glad he's back, but he doesn't seem very happy for a man who's about to get everything he wants. She muses that she finds it appealing that he doesn't trust her. I need this to succeed. Audra says when they gain control, they will build the company back better and stronger. This is what Tucker does best. Kyle says that's why he's dealing with him. With both of them, it's clear who I'm dealing with. In the club, the Newmans listen as Claire calls Aunt Jordan. On the other end of the line, Jordan says, I've just got back from the hospital, understand? Claire replies, yes, I'm here with Mr. Newman and 2 of his children. They're very worried. She hands the phone to Victor, who says, hi, this is Victor Newman. Jordan makes a knowing face on the other end. She says, Mr. Victor Newman. Well, I can't believe it. Victor thanks her for helping his wife, and then Jordan pretends she can't hear him. What was that? Hello. Victor repeats himself, and Jordan says Nikki gave her a scare. The doctors are tending to her. Victor asks her to tell them his wife has MS. Jordan says they figured out that was what was ailing her. They gave her epilepsy medication, and it seems to be working. They'd like to keep her overnight. Victor tells her they'll be there in a few hours. Victor asks for the name of the hospital, but she tells him he's breaking up again and disconnects. Victor relays what Jordan said to Nick and Victoria and tells Claire they owe her aunt a tremendous debt of gratitude. Claire replies, I'm sure she doesn't see it that way. Victor's looking forward to thanking her in person. At the Abbott house, Diane warns Ashley not to sacrifice her whole holiday for Tucker. It means a lot to Jack to have her there. It means a lot to me too. She loves her brother and his devotion to family. Last year at this time, Jack had recently learned he had another grandchild. They discuss Ale being overseas pursuing her dreams. Ashley thinks Diane means what she's saying. Diane does and hopes she makes it back for dinner. Kyle comes in and crows about how good it smells in there. Once Ashley's left the room, Kyle asks Diane, where's Dad? She says he's in the kitchen. Kyle whispers, I met with Audra. He relays that Tucker showed up. It couldn't have worked out better, and he's back in. I think you were right about how to handle this, he tells Diane. He'll eliminate the threat and make this his gift to his dad. Diane clucks. Good for you. Jack appears, and they all talk about it being his favorite holiday. Jack complains about Tucker still invading their lives. Kyle declares that today should be about them. In the jazz lounge, Tucker texts Devin to ask if they can fix this. He'd love to spend Thanksgiving with him. Audra reappears and muses. Looks like it's just you and me. He asks if she wants to go upstairs. She blurts, Tucker, no. He meant to the dining room. She agrees, and he teases her about her mind being in the gutter. In the dining room, Claire goes on about the bad cell phone reception at the lake house and admits she worries about her aunt being in a place so remote sometimes. Victor tries to call back and then says to Nick and Victoria, "Come on, let's go." They file out. In her room, Nikki hears a door creak in the house and calls out, "Who's there, Claire?" Downstairs, someone knocks on the lake house door and calls out, "Hello, Nikki? Victoria?" The man reaches for the door and opens it, walking in. It's Cole Howard. He calls out, "Nikki, it's Cole. I got your text about Victoria. Is she all right?"